Thank you for tuning in to Connect More, featuring the shared experiences, new adventures, and nightmares of four pals who have known each other for decades. Connect More utilizes the swear jar concept to raise funds for the American Cancer Society. When you hear this during the episode, the offender will contribute to the swear jar. We'll update the swear jar each week at the end of the program. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey, yo, welcome to another episode of Connect More. I'm Eric. There's John.
Hey there.
That's Brian.
Yo.
And there's Jason.
Hello.
On this episode of Connect More, John and Brian hammer their thumbs. Jason and I do a redo on last episode's GenX Mt Rushmore. And then when we whip around some ingredients. But let's start with a check-in with everyone. I don't know about you cats, but I like to kill some time playing some video games. I got an Xbox here at home that I like to play some games on. Jason, what are you playing these days?
Well, yeah, the boys have a Switch, and I like to sit down and play the Switch with the guys sometimes. I don't play it a lot by myself, I will say. And the most frequently trafficked game that we play is, of course, Mario Kart. Just the timeless classic, right? And the Switch version of Mario Kart, the Mario Kart 8, is really top notch. I mean, it's
very good,
super fun. So, and I'm no good at it.
There's only one game that causes more family fights on the Switch, and that's Mario Party. Do you do that one?
That's one we haven't dived into deeply yet, but I think it's on the cusp. I really would like to do that one.
Calculating those stars at the end of Mario Party, there is nothing more frustrating when you come up a star short. Nothing.
Damn stars! You dominate the game, and then they give those stars.
At my child,
and then you wind up in third. Me and Caitlin have this fight all the time, but Mario Karts is a classic. Wayne, what are you playing?
I love the Mario Karts also. So I use Mrs. Roper's Switch, and I just got her a Switch 2.
Ooh.
Moving on up.
But I haven't got to play Mario Kart, the new Mario Kart on Switch 2 yet. Because we haven't traveled yet too much or anything. Usually we'll, play it in the car while the other one's driving, And but I always find that a lot of fun. And take that vacation. That's why I play in the plane. If I'm not watching the movie, whatever. So yeah, really like the Mario Kart. But I've done the Mario Party too, with stepson and his wife. And once again, I feel exactly the same way you guys do. It's like, that's all bullshit, the way they do the stars. Total fucking bullshit. Yeah. Bullshit. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Got Venmo there, pal, for paying that?
That's right.
So I've got we have a Switch also. When the family's around, we do those too. But here where I'm at, I've got my Xbox, and I put in a lot of hours on Starfield when it first came out. And then I had a buddy of mine kind of take me back to a classic, and most of the time when I'm playing this year, it's been Red Dead Redemption 2.
Ooh, I've heard that's really fun.
It's amazing. And just like Starfield, the open world stuff, I just get a kick out of because maybe I don't want to do this storyline. I just want to go kick around and hunt rabbits all day. It's awesome. What are you playing, John?
Yeah, it's really hard to break it down to one thing. As you guys know, my son, who's 28, his special interest is, he would identify as a gamer, and he's been doing it since he was 5. Current systems he's stayed with the PS4 and the Nintendo Switch, and he likes the Super Robot Wars, which incorporates Gundams, which are his favorite anime characters. So it's one-on-one fighting games, sort of an element of build your fighter, and then they take on each other with all of the moves that you would associate with like Street Fighter. But I will tell you the most interesting story. So video games are just a constant element with us. I was in a video games, etc. on Sunday, for gosh sakes, and would encourage the best video game related entertainment I've seen this year was the Fallout television series. Would recommend that pretty highly. But the most interesting thing going on in gaming is a guy named Toby Fox, who has created a game called Deltarune based on his game from like 10 years ago, which was called Undertale, Tale, Undertale. And this guy is a single person developer who makes games that run on their Switch games that run on your laptop. And it's a crazy mashup world of these low res individual characters, but telling kind of subversive stories. So it was so Deltarune and Undertale have been great adventures.
Thanks, Cliffy.
Beat me to it.
Come on, I know you. Jason was just popping.
You can't say just one.
I was like, I had to do it.
Can't say just one.
Yep, gotta do it. State law, gotta do it.
All right, kids, and now it's tool time with Cliffy and Wayne.
So here's the thing. We've learned a lot over the years, mainly by ignoring all advice and making every possible mistake ourselves. We call this segment The Hard Way, where we share the bumps, bruises, and belated wisdom that come from taking a scenic and slightly painful route through life. Today, we're going to talk about home improvement. And so I'm going to throw to Brian about either something that didn't go so well as a home improvement item, or something that you want done, the next big thing or the need, and why.
Well, I don't necessarily keep this on home improvement. I keep this on a lot of things. I don't have much regrets in life, so it's like even if I don't get something done, I don't sit there and dwell about it like, oh, I should really get that done, But I do. Everything eventually gets done, right? So my whole thing is about perfection. When I was younger, I was always obsessed about perfection, doing everything right the first time, doing everything perfect. And then you realize as you get older, it really doesn't matter because everybody's such a fuck up. It doesn't matter. So you learn not to be so stubborn, and then you learn from your own mistakes, right? And when you buy a house, you learn to do a lot of stuff on your own, right? So I learned how to do drywall, and you learn it's not an exact science. You look at commercial properties, I see all kinds of flaws everywhere. And Uncle Benny was just like, you need to look around. You need to look around at the paint trim.
Ruben,
you need to look around all kinds of stuff.
Just want you to know, Uncle Benny is you. Just so the listeners know out there.
Right.
Uncle
right.
Benny is Ruben. Ruben is in construction. Weenus talks to Benny about construction. Just wanted to make sure everybody knew what was going on there.
Well, he was the person who really helped me finish the house when, because he was also a building inspector. So he would come over every few weeks and help prioritize things around the house and tell me exactly, okay, you need to get this and this done in the next few weeks. And then he kind of be my unofficial inspector too, to make sure I did the work well. He goes, and most of the time I did right. Sometimes I messed up. He'd be like, okay, well, we could do a little bit better with this, or here, let me teach you something that, makes things look better aesthetically. And, you kind of learn, but you learn that perfection just can't happen.
I appreciate you bringing that up, because I think perfection is why I don't almost don't do any of this stuff, because if there's a swear jar around when I'm working on home stuff, there's just not a big enough jar for that sort of thing. But I want to thank you for something else, and that's you bring up one of my favorite mantras from the Bill Murray classic Meatballs. It just doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Say it with us.
Doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
Yep, it's true. It doesn't. So I've learned the big thing about home improvement is I've also learned you start early in the morning. You don't start this crap 7 o'clock at night, just 1 hour before the store closes, right? I see people do this all the time.
If you're going to do a plumbing project, start electrical or plumbing. Please don't do them together. You want to start those in the morning, because you're going to the hardware store at least 2 times. I'm guessing
Twice.
3 to 5.
Twice. Yep. No,
Yeah.
over under is 2.
Yes.
We have an Ace Hardware here in the neighborhood, and that has been a lifesaver.
Mhm.
Love
because
the
it
Ace
used to be-
hardware.
Yeah, no, because it used to be, a couple miles over to Lowe's, and Lowe's is good, but Ace Hardware is what you find in the neighborhood.
Ace
So
is better,
Ace
yeah.
Hardware, if you're listening,
Hey,
Ace
Jason.
is the place.
there you go, John. Sorry. Ace
Yeah.
is the place.
Ace is the place. We're open. So first of all, this makes me think of one of my favorite mantras, which is when a man says he'll do something, he's going to do it. There's no need to remind him about it every 6 months. And I went from having new construction 20 years ago to being in a home that's now 113 years old, and it's it's plaster walls and it's ancient wiring, and so it's just waiting, right? It's sitting here waiting. And as you guys know, I work a program around my sobriety, and one of the things we talk about a lot is getting rid of resentments. And I have found that one of the things I do before a home project is analyze, like, all right, is this going to cause a huge resentment that I had to do this? Is it even worth messing with, because I'm going to end up so resentful at the end of the process? And usually I'm able to get myself, into a restful. Now, my wife would disagree with that statement, but normally I'm able to get myself into a restful place and just take on the project and do it, and not do so much of the stomping around and swear jar. But so the thing for me, the answer for me on the home improvement deal is, I'm just about done with the backyard. Like it's the creeping Charlie has won. I'm tired because it's mowing weeds. I'm tired of I've got a bird feeder in the middle of it. Like we're 75 years old, and I am tired of running. Even though I've got a great little electric mower now, and I feel it's fun to use and all of that, I am just over this particular plot of land, and I'm seriously thinking about, could you do it with prairie grass and rocks and a little path back there? It's got great tree cover. It would look fantastic for that. Again, very old house, but like I can't do it anymore, you guys.
I thought when you
really
said I'm done with the backyard, I thought, I haven't been there maybe in a year. I thought maybe you did some real nice landscaping, but no, you mean you're done.
I
would
surrender.
Be done.
Yes.
I'm with concrete the whole thing.
I'm going to make one phone call. That's what I'm going to do for that backyard.
Like mowing is in the top 3 of my most hated chores or anything to do ever. Can't stand.
Who mows at your house?
You make Yoko mow.
Yeah,
you make Yoko mow.
I don't make her mow.
Wait a minute. It's truth-telling time on the pod.
The truth is, I'm lucky. She actually likes to mow, and I don't understand it. And she likes to do it. And the 1 or 2 times I have to do it in the year, she gets pissed at me because then I just do it as fast as I can, and I really don't care about anything. And she just she likes to mow.
By the way, doing chores poorly so you don't get asked to do them again. That's another topic.
Very smooth. Very smooth.
Laundry, filling the dishwasher. That's a whole other segment, right?
I'm an expert. Yeah, I'm an expert at that.
Yes. Any kind of laundry that requires special handling. Yeah.
Your delicates, John?
Even if it's mine. That's right. Listen, don't question my delicates.
Never have, never will.
Jason and Eric, do you have any home improvement projects you'd like to talk about today?
Well, I think you guys, my dad is a big do-it-yourself guy. I think that's just his generation. They grow up doing it themselves, right? So that's how I grew up. You do it yourself. You figure it out and you do it yourself. So I'm not adverse to doing it myself, but I've also, one of the lessons I've had to learn too is sometimes you just need to hire someone to do it correctly.
Oh, you said it,
quickly.
Bro. And it's understanding that line, isn't it?
The line. That is the line that I'm always trying to walk, because I and even just doing little things around the house myself, I can do a lot of that stuff. Like Wayne was saying, patch some drywall, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But here's the process, right? You patch the drywall. You got to let it dry. Then you got to put some. Then you got to sand it down. Then you got to put a little primer on it. Let it dry. When's that going to get done? I can only do it so fast here, and we're going to have to cover up.
Not before Sunday Night Football is over is the answer. Right?
But I mean, that's the
there better be one of those
balance.
Morning games from Dublin or whatever that day if you're going to get it done.
Yeah, but this stuff takes time, and you got to do it in the time frame you can do it in. So anyway, I've had to kind of balance that out, and there's always that lingering guilt that I should have done that myself. But some of these things, it would take me months, sometimes years. Like, I live in an old house too, John. All the windows need to be redone. Like, they're all the wood windows with the sashes and the pulleys and stuff. Could I do it myself? Sure. It would take me a decade to do them all. And the amount of time that I can hire some guys. Can be very expensive, but he's really good at it, and it'll get done in like 3 months. Let's go.
We are this close to right now to being able to say tuck pointing on the show.
So close. I was going to say
So
glazing.
close.
I was going to say glazing.
We got all the way to glazing. Hey, Jason, you're making me think of one of my favorite memes, which says, you can't give me trauma. I held the flashlight for my dad. Right? I mean, these guys did auto repair work in the driveway. There wasn't even a garage. And they would just there'd be just the jack on the one wheel. And you were down on there with them holding these flashlights. And they did not make the pencil-sized flashlights back in the day. That was a substantive flashlight. You had both hands on.
You had to whack it a couple times. You had to whack it every once in a while to get it, jiggle it to get it to work.
Keep it pointed. What are you doing? You got to pay attention.
Yep.
Well, now, John, you'll be very proud. On Sunday, maybe, my dad, because we live right next to my folks on the farm here, my dad was going to change the brakes on his 72 Volkswagen convertible. I said, come on over, boys. So I took my boys over, and we helped my dad jack the car up, took the brakes off, inspected the brake linings, all that stuff. It was so fun.
You didn't make him. Did you make him hold the flashlight?
Right?
Well,
did you have
kind of?
Did you have PTSD from it?
Of course, my boys were like looking at their phones, going, looking up as he was doing it. So, but it was
YouTube says you need to turn that left to right.
Yeah, exactly. But my dad's an old gearhead, and he loves doing that kind of stuff, and he loves showing it to my boys. So it was really fun for them to get under there and be like, "This is what the brake drum on an old Volkswagen Beetle looks like, guys." And they're like, I mean, I think that's interesting. And they were like, "Whatever." I don't know. It's fun.
Amazing. He might as well have been showing them a steam tunnel, though, right?
Totally.
They just don't understand Are we losing that? Is it bad that we're losing it?
We're totally losing that because they don't make the cars like even in our generation, we were still able to change our own oil and things like that. But now to change an oil in one of these cars, you got to practically pull the engine out to get to the.
Yeah.
It's hard in some vehicles. Yes.
Well, it takes. They all take synthetic oil and all this stuff now. It's just.
And if you've got a new car, there's a value in taking it to the dealership when you go to trade it in, which is like you kind of want out of that, but it's there's real money attached to it.
So if you guys ever want to get on a creeper and roll under a car, come over to my house.
Or you come to my house. Take your pick.
I do still have a creeper. Yes. It's come in handy many times.
I have a creeper. It's called Uncle Weenus.
The creeper.
He said creeper.
I'm the night creeper, not the anyway.
Oh, brother.
Okay. God. Is it? Have we talked to counsel about this section?
I am the counsel.
Strike that from the record, Your Honor.
Oh my God. And now we'll turn it over to Jason and Eric for Raised by Wolves. And I know they're very excited about this because they get to right a wrong tonight.
Welcome to Raised by Wolves, the segment where we take a look back at how Gen X somehow survived childhood without helmets, supervision, or a plan. We're talking latchkey living, Saturday morning cartoons, and pop culture that shaped us into the slightly cynical, mostly self-reliant adults that we are today. So, today we have a follow-up discussion about our last episode's ultimate Gen X Mount Rushmore discussion. 4 faces etched in stone, representing an entire generation's culture, icons, and questionable fashion choices. But this time, we are unshackled.
Yay.
We are free.
Yay.
From the constraints of John's 1965 to 1980. We can actually talk about the people who we looked up to and who formed us, who are our idols.
Formed
Gen
us.
Xers.
formed our generation. That's what people want to talk about, John.
Freedom.
That's
Sorry.
Let's dig right in, Jax. Who's your four on the influential of our generation?
All right, so here we go. Got Dave Letterman.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Uh-huh.
Barack Obama. And Queen Elizabeth. No, just kidding. It's Madonna.
Thanks. All right, good choices. Then here's mine. I also have Michael Jordan. Then I have John Hughes. Did all the 16 Candle, the Brat Pack movies. And then I went with an author. I went with Roald Dahl. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James the Giant Peach. And then let's get ready. John's been waiting for this one. It is Hulk Hogan.
Oh, God.
I thought he was going to say Jeff Tweedy. I really did.
Not even Ric Flair, huh? Hulk Hogan, you went there.
No, it had to be Hulk Hogan because
all right.
not only because was professional wrestling like really growing at that time, and he was the face of that.
Yeah,
but they combined with MTV to even blow up. Cyndi Lauper came in, and they did the whole rock and roll wrestling thing, and it helped boost MTV even more. And then what those two did between the professional wrestling and the MTV is it also really even larger skyrocketed just the cable TV industry that was still very young back then and just blew it up. So it's not just it's Hulk Hogan, but it's a face of more of a bigger movement. I mean, you could even, you could say it was Vince McMahon maybe that did that, but I'd hold my nose on that too. But if we're talking about the actual face of things that turn the wheels, then I'm going to put Hulk Hogan up there. And I'm holding my nose on that guy too, right? I mean, yeah.
I don't really want to fight you on Hulk Hogan. I think that's real. The cultural impact there is undeniable, whether you wanted to be into that or not. And, being immortalized as Thunder Lips in Rocky III, it just becomes part of the culture reflecting itself back to itself. And that was the thing that was going on at that time. No question. It was, you could show somebody that red and yellow Hulkamania shirt 40 years later, and they would still understand what that was, even if they had no experience of it. But the one I want to fight you guys on would be the entertainment slot, right? So we're all Letterman fans. This is essentially a Letterman tribute podcast, ultimately, because that's where we all got our senses of humor. And I'm talking about the NBC show. I'm talking about the one with the super awkward interviews with Andy Kaufman and Bob Weir stoned out of his gourd, and it just goes on and on. Super Dave,
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah,
a
Jerry
professional
Lawler.
Wrestler again. Yeah.
Super Dave. We mourned Super Dave here, I think, on a previous
Brother Theodore.
episode. Correct. So I can't argue with Letterman and just the battle that he's put up for how that medium is relevant as recently as this last week is just fantastic. So, but I can't believe nobody said Casey Kasem. Right, because the whole, everything was organized around the top 40, especially late 60s, early 70s, very early 80s. There was one chart, and if you had a single in the chart, you were competing against everything else that was out there. And I try to explain to people that Michael Jackson competed for slots on the chart with Bruce Springsteen. That doesn't make any sense to anybody now, but we watched that happen, right? It was crazy. It was, some of it was Prince and Rick James, and then some of it was Twisted Sister, and it was all on the same chart. And then Casey would do,
and you're leaving out Alabama and Kenny Rogers.
It was all there, right?
Yeah, it was
and
all
then
there.
Whatever was left over from disco was still there. And he would do, if I said long distance dedication to 90% of Gen Xers, or I said, here's whatever the story was that he did, I think it has a lot of resonance to it. I actually don't know when that all stopped. I think it kind of split into different charts in the early 2000s, but and now it's all spins and stuff. And it's like, you can't even explain, because it's like apples and oranges, what it used to be like. Now, did any of you actually sit and listen to the top 40 when it was on, when you were
Sunday nights
13
here
and under? Sunday nights when it came on syndicated?
Yeah.
I did. I feel like it came whatever we listened to around in our area. I feel like it was on Saturdays though, but it was definitely on the weekend.
Yeah, I think Saturday mornings, but then it would run periodically throughout the weekend. Jason's correct. And then occasionally they do like a top 500 over Memorial Day or something. Was that local or
Yes.
was that Casey? Who would do that?
I think that was Casey, and then I think some radio stations went and did that more specifically on their own for their own format. Um, hey, you guys know if you get into the vinyl and you go to the record stores,
Oh God, with the vinyl.
Here's a good find. You know that Casey Kasem program was syndicated, and they pressed it on vinyl and sent it out to the radio stations. You can actually find those shows.
Oh, that's interesting.
Pressed in vinyl.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
so that's the way they played it on the radio. They just played it on vinyl, and that was it.
In some of the 70s and early 80s, obviously, eventually satellite came over and they just beamed it in.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can find those Casey Kasem top 40s actually on vinyl.
Gotcha.
So you didn't even mention his work as a voice actor. Shaggy on Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo.
He was on the Super Friends. I mean, he was
multifaceted.
He was omnipresent.
Incredible talent. Eric, why John Hughes? Now, I understand you're trying to stay married, so that's important, and this will help you do that. But, you know, I learned a lot about, sort of being an adolescent from the John Hughes films. I feel like he was making them just a few years behind where we were, so we had just kind of come out of whatever stage he was depicting. But what was it that, was it more like the fashion and what the sense of cool was, or was it actually, we were learning about life?
So those two things, but mostly the fashion and the coolness and the music, with a few episodes. And this is where John's referring to that I got in trouble with Yoko, is we did the soundtracks. I mean, if anybody used soundtracks as well as any director back then, I mean, it was John Hughes, right? Those were, as my wife has reminded me, some great soundtracks from the Breakfast
Aaron
Club.
said the same thing, by the way, about she's like, why didn't you have any John Hughes soundtracks on there?
Yeah,
and even
16 Candles.
Yep, even my millennial wife said the same thing. Pretty in Pink is an amazing psychedelic furs post-punk song. That's a great song that they didn't actually put in the movie.
Very good album. And but I think John Hughes, again, I think he's more representative of a face. Like I used the Hulk Hogan face to represent something. I think it's because I think any of us could have easily chosen anyone from that Brat Pack. And I think that he just kind of pulls all of that in, the vibe, the style, the learning how to live, the life lessons. So that's why I put him up there as more of a, I don't know what you would say, that movement or whatever.
So what are your actual four, John? Like, I feel like, did you say all four of yours?
No, I didn't do four for this necessarily. I just wanted to shove in the conversation. I was surprised you didn't do Casey Kasem. I actually thought that would come up. And then the one I wanted to shove in was Hunter S. Thompson, which was the sort of my literary whatever, opening up and realizing what it all was. And
he's honorable mention for me for sure.
Yeah, he was.
I thought Jason was going to take him, and that's why I took my literary one was Roald Dahl. But
yeah,
he was tied. It was Hunter S. Thompson or Kurt Vonnegut for me.
I still got the Vonnegut compendium on my coffee table, but Thompson was taking like the Beat Poets and like Ken Kesey and that stuff, and he was trying to interpret it through journalism. So because that's what he had been doing, is writing for magazines, and it sounded like journalism, but it was just preposterous, and it was fantastic. And Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail '72, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and then the coverage of the Law Day speech 1974 in Rolling Stone magazine, where he goes down there to cover Ted Kennedy's obvious upcoming win in 76, and he sees this guy lecturing his own lawyers and judges as governor of Georgia and says, I think I see the real thing here. I think this guy's for real. And he puts him on the cover of Rolling Stone and propels Jimmy Carter to the presidency. Great piece of political writing.
Yeah, here's the thing about this list and what we did differently than the last episode, and how Jason and I complained that the constraints were so much. I mean, I seriously had 5 people for last episode. This episode, I mean, this is my whole list right there, people. Look at how long this list is. It's we can only put 4. We didn't do George Lucas.
Yep.
Jim Henson.
Steven Spielberg.
Spielberg was huge. How about Elvis Presley?
Elvis Presley, Eddie Van Halen.
How about Ronald Reagan?
How about
I
Jimmy
almost put
Carter?
Reagan on there instead of Obama because when you think about it, he was probably more influential on us than Obama was, but I just couldn't stomach it.
That guy had more to do with how I think about the world than any other politician. And
Absolutely.
on some level,
And the
that's
effects.
tragic.
Yeah.
Yep.
And even for millennials and Gen X's, hate to break it to you folks,
Yep.
you're still living under the crushing weight of what he's done to this country. So
Ditto,
congratulations,
man.
Ronnie.
Ditto. What he said. Long-time listener,
Oh,
first-time
brother.
caller. Ditto.
I almost
Wayne.
put Reagan.
Come in here and blow up our list, will you, please?
Oh, Jesus, H. Christ and a popsicle stick. All right.
Actually, Jesus Christ had a pretty good 70s. He had a,
Oh,
he had
I
a
sh-
Broadway musical made into a movie, right? There were a couple of miracles. There was you had stability in the popes. Actually, he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Jesus was on my list, but just didn't quite make it.
Yeah. Didn't make my top 10. Sorry.
He was just all right with you.
Yeah, you're just all right by me.
Wow.
Oh, God.
All right.
Make
So
it stop.
I'm putting Magic Johnson on there.
I had Magic Johnson on my list too.
He's kind of the face of he was the face of basketball for nearly 10 years, and then he became the face of HIV and living with HIV.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's a big one.
Love me some magic. Yep.
That searing moment in that press conference, right? It's one of those last
yes.
few we were all
Totally.
there watching at the same time. There aren't many after that.
Yep.
Yep. And of course I'm going to say Prince.
Yeah, I got Prince too. I don't know. I felt like that was just that was too me being biased, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruben,
It's
as you know,
my Mount Rushmore, not yours.
that's right.
right?
Ruben, we live within 3.5 hours of Minneapolis, so that's why Prince is going to show up there on all of ours. But I would put Prince there too. And the problem is Prince just infected everything, right? He wrote songs for other people. It was the movie
Yes.
stuff. It was all of it, right?
Yes.
I mean, it was all of
Yes.
it. Even the thing they released posthumously that he had written for everybody else, and you listen to his versions of it, and some of them aren't as good, but you're like, he sat and produced all that. That's insane.
Yes. All right. I'm putting J-Lo up there too. Just because the acting, the way the music, just we need a female in there. I think she's affected a lot of society. Brought for like a kind of like Gloria Estefan kind of brought a little bit of Latino music to our society, but I think J-Lo kind of made it even a little more popular. And so I'm gonna put J-Lo up there too.
And I don't think we would have the trend of combining people's names together without her and Ben Affleck. The Bennifer
right.
thing, she
That's right.
invented that. She was a pioneer. We'd be without that in our pop culture. Way to go. And she's got J-Lo and Bennifer. Like, that's
Well,
heck.
The other cool
That's
thing
right.
is that she's actually in our generation. So that's one where you're calling out someone who achieved something from within our generation. So that's cool. But I do think Madonna's plenty female, right? We did kind of skip right over Madonna. That's another just heavy duty,
I mean, what the heck?
multi-decade. I mean, you're watching Sean Penn on the Charlie Sheen documentary and being like, he was married to Madonna for like 2 years. Like, let's see that documentary, right?
All right, so I have a tie for my fourth, and you can interchange either one of these two: Keanu Reeves, Nicolas Cage.
I don't-
Actually, no, you can't interchange those two ever for any reason.
Oh wow.
And they're for different reasons, obviously, right?
Well, obviously.
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 Although they've both convincingly played the devil, right?
The other, like in the actor category, I'm not doing this bullshit. Like you could have a fourth or the fifth one interchangeable. I'm not doing that. But on the honorable mention list,
Thanks, gatekeeper.
for me also was Michael J. Fox.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, just talk about someone who was omnipresent, like as a young person on Family Ties and all of the movies, and then his activism and things as an adult as he struggles with Parkinson's. What an inspirational and just interesting person, and just a decent human being, I think. Well, I don't know about you guys, but that conversation was exhausting. I'm feeling a little whipped. No
doubt someone's wondering where we are by now. So before we get called back to reality, let's stick and move with some quick takes, fast laughs, and then we're out. It's time for a good old-fashioned whip around.
Whip around!
Whip around.
Whip around! All right. Remember, quick and dirty and out. What do you do to your chili to make it unique? We'll start with Jackson.
I don't cook chili a lot, but when I do, I like to use Italian sausage as the meat and put in some cloves. Kind of gives a little hint of something just a little bit different. Like, what is that in there? But it really mixes in well with all the other spices that I like to put in my chili. So cloves
pinch
and
of
Italian
spice.
sausage.
Nice.
Nice. All right. How about John?
I am not the master chef. I learned who Gordon Ramsay was in 2022.
You're welcome.
I will do some Franks and some green onions. That's it. Gets Franks in it while it cooks, and then green onions over the top as it's served.
You mean like hot dogs?
Oh, the hot sauce dipshit.
No, Frank's hot sauce as opposed to Tabasco. Yes.
Got it. All right.
Yes, I enjoy beanie weenies in my chili.
You might just have to go next, Sweenus, because Jocko's out of commission
He
for a
is,
little bit
as
here.
they say,
He's
laid
losing
out.
it. He's
He
losing
is
it.
laid out.
That
He
is
didn't say
great.
Frank's hot sauce. He just said Frank's. I was just like, what?
And it's John. Like, well, I'm gonna defend Weenus here, like, because it's John. I mean, he just opened the segment saying, "I'm no top chef," so maybe he puts wieners in his chili. I don't know.
Exactly.
I guess I thought Frank's hot sauce was a well enough known sort of condiment for when you're making soup type things. By the way, if you're listening, Frank's hot sauce, we have sponsorships available for the full season 1 of Connect More, and we are singing your praises tonight. That's Frank's hot sauce.
It is my hot sauce of choice, so maybe that's why I knew what you were talking about, and Weenus didn't. So,
Yeah, because I use Lola's. That's why.
oh,
Yeah.
Paco, I can't believe you took Weenus' side there. I'm very disappointed.
Absolute. We're best friends forever, dude.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'm going to go with mine. So
All
mine
right.
is sweet sausage. Same but different. And I also like cheese topping. Put cheese, shredded cheese on top. And smoked paprika.
ooh,
Yeah.
Smoked paprika. Do you
Yes.
do
Exotic.
you get the sausage
Yeah.
from B&B or Graziano here in Des Moines?
Usually Graziano's, Des
Yeah.
Moines. Yep. And there's some people who actually like cinnamon rolls with their chili.
We just had that conversation in my household.
I feel like
Yes.
is that Minnesota? I feel like it's Minnesota.
I thought it was like a Northwest Iowa thing, but
My
Yeah,
wife's family in Colorado does it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, but okay, so there's cinnamon rolls. That's a thing too. But right back in the day in school, when we had chili in school, like elementary and junior high, the other thing next to it was a peanut butter sandwich, right?
A lot of times, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
That free
and at
gover
home-
with almond butter or whatever that
Yeah.
crap was.
All right. What's Eric's sweet
Yeah.
sauce?
I get the cheapest piece of steak, round steak or something, tenderize it real good, and then I throw it on the grill and do a super slow so it gets really smoky, but not done. I shoot for a rare to medium rare, so it's not on there long, but just enough to get a good smoke. Then chop that up and put that in there instead of the ground beef, and then if I got a little frozen sweet corn from the summer, drop a little sweet corn in there.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, very fancy.
All
You win.
right. That sounds really good.
It's better than hot dogs. I know that.
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
guess we know what you're doing at the state fair next summer. Somebody
All right,
is going to
we're-
listen to this and say that they do put hot dogs in their chili, which is
Yes,
psychopathic,
yes,
but I'll bet they do.
yes.
Sound off in the comments if you like to put hot dogs in your chili.
Perfect. So well done.
All right, boys. We're officially whipped.
We are
Swear jar amount to benefit the American Cancer Society is $29. We might have doubled it after this episode.
More Franks.
Closing credits, please.
Thank you for listening to Connect More. I'm the producer. Please subscribe and like this podcast because it's my only chance of getting paid for this gig. Connect More is a product of Pantiger LLC and is hosted by Brian Danielson, Eric Van Lanker, Jason Nisus, and John Hedgecoth. Connect More is edited by me and Jocko. The showrunners are Jax, Hedge, and Weenus. Theme music written and recorded by Ryan Veeder. Cover art designed by Leon Golden. Musical director is Evil. Legal liaison is Brian. Lead writers are John and Eric. Runner-up writers are Jason and Captain Danielson. Publication coordinator is Jax. Special thanks to GVC, Aaron, Miss Roper, and Yoko. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow Connect More on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.